Hello, as usual it's me Pavlo, and today we'll be talking about yet another gadget by FiiO. Be prepared because most probably every second gadget in nearest reviews will be from FiiO. As it was last year, FiiO decided by the end of the year release almost all products they've planned, and they're releasing really interesting gear one by one. But today we'll be talking about the most affordable earphones in their lineup. As usual for affordable items, it's made in cooperation with Jade Audio and it's named JD1. Its price on AliExpress is $15. There are two colors, black and silver. It's a single dynamic driver model, but with replaceable cable, with some good, at least by specifications driver. It uses asymmetrical magnet system, LCP diaphragm. Also they spend time for acoustic tuning, but it all costs $15 and it's really interesting to see what we're getting for this price from the well-known company. So let's proceed. So let's do quick unboxing. Package is simple, but I am getting used to the new style of FiiO package. Pretty nice polygraphy, interesting orange color. Actually, I don't know, maybe there is some name for this color, but I didn't ask my wife. She is specialist in naming colors. And as usual, this modern box is a bit hard to unpack without tearing, and I already failed that. So don't really like this. Here it is, and I torn my box a bit, but anyway, not like I'm going to sell it anyway. So inside of this outer package we're getting small manual about connecting cable and wearing earphones. Then we got earphones themselves, nice small box with cable, I suppose, and set of tips. Actually for $15 I think this packaging and accessory set is pretty good. So let's take them out. Looks actually pretty cool. It's zinc alloy on the faceplates and plastic on the inner side. Actually they have a bit of additional weight because of this stylish and nice faceplates. It's getting fingerprints, but they are not hard to wipe. So design is classical. We've seen this shape of the shell many times in the past. You can see that there is a plenty of different vent holes, one here, so they are pretty vented, but all of that vents are on the inner side of the shell, and that's good because when vent holes are somewhere here, you can sometimes hear wind blowing, but not in this case. I like that they made spout out of metal. It's a good thing. I really like how tips fit on this metal spout. There is a wide lip for holding the tips, protective grill, so definitely they didn't cut the cost on the manufacturing. So let's pull this tip back, and here is stock cable. Recently I've seen such cable with some earphones, don't remember which one, but it looks pretty good. It's interesting in terms of design. Here it is. Here used QDC connector or 2-pin connector with recessed pins. Good option for the affordable earphones because it provides, let me fit it, provides nice mechanical reliability and pretty good connection. So there are ear hooks, and here is the cable itself. You can see that it's braided from multicolored wires in good isolation, so looks pretty stylish. There is microphone and throttle control, which is pretty good idea for the affordable earphones that people will be using with smartphones. And the cable is about average in terms of softness, not super hard, but at the same time not super soft. Thanks to the ear hooks, microphone effect is pretty low. Here it goes, you can see just a simple splitter without chin slider, but it doesn't make sense because there is a torque control on the wire. And after that it goes two cables in parallel down to 4-pin 3.5mm jack. So basically I'd say that for this price tire we're getting nice design, normal set of accessories, good packaging, so everything is at place. And of course about the sound, I gave them about 48 hours of burn-in, but didn't get any changes. But I can't say that I'm disappointed by that thing. Most important here is to find the proper tips that will provide you a good fit. In terms of the sound, it's a V-shaped dynamic driver signature, but at the same time with a bit unusual treble tuning. More about treble later, but let's start from the bass. It's elevated and main accent is both on the mid and deeper bass, so accent actually is moderate. FiiO decided not to make them some bass heavy model. So deep rumble and good punch are present, but not dominating. So definitely not a bass head model, but bass boost is present, which makes acoustic instruments a bit bigger and moves them a bit forward towards the listener. In general, I like them both with electronic music, with something with synthesized low frequencies and with more natural instruments. Of course it lacks that small tiny nuances, and texturing is like okay but not great. But let's remember about the price tire. So for this price tire everything sounds pretty good, nicely balanced, not overdone, which is really good for me, but probably can be a bit disappointment for the mass market audience. But I think that despite the affordable price, FiiO still tried to make them a bit more towards the audiophilic tuning. In general, pretty pleasant low frequencies without any big issues. So, and the example, it's Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal extended mix. I really like this track, and I like this track on the bass boosted earphones because it sounds really juicy and tasty. But with these IMs also I'm getting pretty adequate amount of low frequencies. It's not overboosted, it's less dominating, but sounds still pretty present and with nice rumble. And also here we having like slow intro part with percussions, and they sound pretty forward because of treble tuning. But let's first talk about the mids. So mids are recessed, but luckily times when recessed mids meant that they are subdued or lost between the bass and treble actually gone. Of course mids are not dominating here, but FiiO didn't overdo with bass and treble, so mid still sounds pretty clean and clear. Of course it's not some super technical IEMs, but I can call resolution like normal. It's definitely not the solution for listening to the tiniest nuances and details, but at the same time you won't lose some, like, let's call it useful information in average tracks. They are not critical for the quality of record, but actually better dynamics and properly mastered treble will be a plus for these earphones. Imagery stage is about average in width and in depth. It's not super spacious or open, but also I can't call this intimate because for me it doesn't sound like that. Instruments are pretty natural. Of course, they're lacking a bit of nuances on the true audiophilic recordings, but on like normal music it's not an issue. Pretty good dynamics and weight distribution thanks to the dynamic driver used here. Upper mids area is boosted and boosted slightly more than average, so it gives you more forward female vocal, more aggressive electric guitars. If you're sensitive for that area, it can be a bit too much for you. I'm not that sensitive, so for me it's still normal, not like natural amount or like amount I've used to, so I hear that it's a bit north towards north from like a regular average amount, but for me it's okay. But if you're sensitive, keep that in mind, so it's better to try them before buying. But when it's transitioned to the treble area, FiiO did a bit unusual thing. They noticeably reduced area around 7-8 kHz, so that area that gives that unpleasant metal splashing and area that gives maximum amount of sibilance. So before the treble, let's go actually let's proceed about the treble, and then I'll show two example tracks. So they are not sibilant, but lower part of treble can be a bit sharp because of that boost. And then around 10 kHz they've made additional spike to give you a bit more extended overtones and saturation. Of course, overall treble extension is just slightly above average, and treble is pretty simple, typically dynamic driver with slightly slower than they should be attacks and decays, but in general overtone saturation is normal and almost zero sibilance, but more than usual that lower treble, but still it's a matter of preferences. And let's go for examples. Actually, first one is Iron Maiden 7th Son of a 7th Son. I selected this track because it's actually my test for sibilance, and think that here we've got like really boosted S letter in the 7th son of a 7th son, and it's recorded and mastered the way that they should sound a bit sharp and slightly a bit unpleasant. I don't know why actually sound engineers did that, but it's a fact, so it should sound a bit forward, but not with these earphones, so this one is without sibilance. But in general, pretty good sound of guitars, nicely that boost in the upper mids area highlights them, and actually this album definitely doesn't sound too forward. Nice representation of the vocal, and also pretty good sounding bass line and drums. And second example, it's Manowar. I know that this band now is more of a meme, but let's face the truth, they are talented musicians that could do a great music. They've selected just that personas of most epic rockers and only true metal performance and so on. But Master of the Wind, it's actually a really well done ballad that tackles all the necessary notes. It does everything in a proper way. Of course, it's built around the vocal, and vocal is really strong and emotional here. And Manowar added a lot of different instruments, like all necessary romantic instruments compilation. Sometimes keyboards, a bit of violins, that airy slide percussion, so a lot of things that goes to the treble area. Of course, it's lacking a bit of naturalness because of subdued part of the treble, but at the same time they definitely doesn't sound sharp, and still they sound pretty crisp, so thanks to that balance of to that boost in the about 10 kHz area, they are still present and show their character. Speaking about the pairings, of course, they doesn't require anything great. They will benefit from some basic digital tonal converter or Bluetooth receiver, but definitely nothing fancy here. And honestly, speaking about the comparisons, there are different KZ models that I reviewed like a year ago or so, and so on, but I can't recall them and I can't do comparisons. So basically it's just this model that from this segment that I reviewed recently. For about $30-35 you can get already a better offer, but for the $15 for that limited budget it's a kind of a good model with a bit of uniqueness, unique sound, but they sound pretty pleasant and they are not typical mass market V-shaped earphones. So that was FiiO and Jade Audio JD1. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a great day.